Hey there. I really feel called to share with you guys my reflection videos on kind of a bit of a diary, you could say, around my experience of the 111 mastery days. And I just watched a bit of the first one that I had done. That was a couple days after we had started. And I was so high on energy, on the transformation. And today I'm just like, it's not like feeling in a slump, but it's almost like, you have that peak energy and then you come down. And I feel like I'm in like that downturn. And I need to like rest and gather energy and release things, and then I can like go back up. But it's always going to be an up and down journey. That's what it seems to be for me with anything in life, is that I have especially with my emotions, I mean, that's probably part of my human design, is that up and down, and also needing that alone time so that I can reflect on what comes from myself and what I've received or picked up from others. It's definitely a ride. I can definitely feel myself wanting to slow it down, wanting to put the brakes on per se. Maybe that's why my forearms are so tight, feeling like I'm holding on too tight. Breathe and let go. So simple and yet sometimes so challenging feeling to integrate is that letting go part. When it happens, it feels amazing. You're like, oh my God, there's the clarity, there's the I've known parts of these puzzles, but I've like never seen the whole picture. And now sometimes I feel like it's better if I hadn't seen some of the pictures of where I'm going for myself. And it's like Sarah always says, our mind can only conceive so little compared to what our soul, our 0 point, can conceive. But I did have some really nice awareness moments where I was it took me a little bit, especially with family, to be aware of it, but I realized I was taking on one of my family members' energy and then reflecting it back at them. And then the last time that it happened, I could feel it much more consciously coming in. And then instead of, unconsciously reflecting it back, like at first I was like gonna talk to them and it's like, hey, your energy's off. And then I was like, well, they're going through their own journey. What if I take the energy they're giving me and I alchemize it within my body? And that's what I did. And that felt good. Because then my vibration, my energy was where it feels good for me. And I don't know if that's right or wrong, but that's what felt good to me. So that's what I did. And that's probably what I'm going to keep doing, is alchemize people's energy as it comes into my system. Because I do have some of the open centers for things like that to come in. But yeah, it's quite the ride, folks. Was awake in the middle of the night, channeled over an hour, or was in this embodiment space for over an hour, working on this energy blockages. Whew. I did get to go to sleep for a couple hours, but my cat ended up deciding to wake me up. It was time to get up at 7:30 in the morning and take care of the family and do some house cleaning and just my body wants to go back to sleep, but I did feel inspired to just share that does not always feel like all roses, and roses have thorns. So it is really a journey with ups and downs, ins and outs. And my soul loves it. I can feel the smile coming through of just like being so happy for me to be in the space, for me to practicing the channeling of bringing in the energy and empowering my body and releasing stagnations. Part of my ego self isn't too happy because it's like everything feels different. This is not normal for us. And I find myself drawn to things that I know I used to do in the past when I was overwhelmed. And I was thinking about that this morning, and it was like, yeah, I don't feel like myself, which makes sense. Both my partner and my mother have mentioned that they're noticing the shifts within me. And not that I needed the confirmation from outside, but it was nice to know that they actually noticed, because when I cut my hair, no one noticed for weeks almost. I had to point it out. But yeah, it's just interesting how our energy gets recognized and our physical expression less so sometimes. But yeah, I think part of this reflection is also the remembering to tune in and to be gentle with myself. That this is a process, this is a journey, and it's not a race. It's not a be fully embodied now. It's having that experience of how do you integrate the 3 levels of consciousness to a conscious whole. And I think that is, for myself, the biggest part of the journey, because while I can, channel and sit and bring that energy while I'm really focused on the inside, how do I embody that same energy while I'm washing the dishes, while I'm driving to the shopping, while I'm talking with friends? I think that's really the practice for me in this moment that I want to focus on. And thanks for listening. Hopefully some of this has helped some of you guys. And talk to some of you soon. Bye for now.